Hi everyone, welcome back to HowTechs. In this video we're going to show you how iOS handles dual SIM cards on an iPhone XS Max. If you haven't already, please check out our separate how-to video showing you how to insert and remove two nano SIMs from the dual SIM tray. Once we've inserted the SIM cards, we'll show you what settings are available and unique to the dual SIM iPhones. By the way, please note that we have a Hong Kong edition iPhone XS Max here with dual SIM slots on the SIM tray. Your version may be different. You may only have a single slot on the tray, but you may be able to add a virtual SIM, an eSIM, to the phone depending on your carrier. Okay, so now we've got two SIMs inserted. Let's see what happens on the phone. So here you can see actually my SIM cards are showing up. It's found the first one. The second one hasn't shown up yet. And I guess that's primary and secondary, the P and the S. So perhaps if we wait a little bit longer, it'll show up. Oh, and there it is. Now we have our first card on the PCCW network and our second card on the China Mobile Hong Kong network. So I guess the data will come through the primary and the phone can come from either one of them. And you can also see when both networks are connected, you actually get kind of a double strength bar. So the main one and then the secondary one's also showing 4 very small dots, and that corresponds to the signal strength here. Okay, so now that we've got the phone turned on and the SIM cards in, let's go to the settings. So if you go to mobile data, which should now be active, you can see that you have both data plans showing up and both phone numbers. So I'm gonna have to gray out my phone numbers so you guys don't call me, but basically you can see that you can select each one and you can set the name, so you can call it like Hong Kong number and China number, etc. And you can see your network and your phone number, etc. And you have separate choices now for enabling 4G or for data only, for voice and data, or for off. And you can do it the same thing for the secondary one. You can also decide if you want the mobile data to come from card 1 or card 2, which is great because maybe I have a secondary plan that I use just for data, but my main phone number is on my primary plan, which is actually the case for me. You can also select data roaming on or off, but interestingly enough, you don't have separate selections for each card, so you either have to do it for both or for neither. That seems a little strange. I'm sure they might change that in the future because that's probably something that I would want to be able to control. Very cool. Let's also check how that is handled for the phone settings as well. So let's go back to settings and then go down to phone. You also have a lot of options in here, such as showing my caller ID. You can turn it on or off for each SIM card individually. Same thing for call waiting, call forwarding, etc. So even Wi-Fi calling, you can select whether you want it to apply to both numbers or not. That's pretty cool. So that's the main ones. There's probably lots more places where primary and secondary selection of SIMs comes into play, such as, for example, messages. Yeah, so messages and FaceTime, you can select which line you want to be your main one. Also, when you're making a phone call, you can decide if you want to call from your primary or your secondary line. So that's pretty cool. So there's lots of things in here. We probably haven't even scratched the surface. Okay, so that's a quick look at the software features available when you have dual SIM installed on an iPhone XS. In this case, we have a physical dual tray, but it should be similar if you have the single SIM tray with the eSIM installed as well. Okay, so if you have any questions or feedback, please leave them in the comment section below. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and do consider subscribing to HowTechs. See you next time. Bye. Today we have an iPhone XS Max, and we'll show you how to insert and remove SIM cards. As you can see, we have two SIM cards, and this is the Hong Kong edition of the phone.